here you see an ambitious castle lover. I tried to visit 3 castles today. This is the 3rd one. And what could I have done better? For example, not rent an electrical car I have never used in my life before, which was so special you had to lock it with an app. I'm also saved by the fact that the first castle I entered is possible to visit on your own. It doesn't require a guided tour. The other 2 castles do. It is Sunday, it's September, so all 3 castles are open. Now I just have to start driving and let's see if I'll make it on time before the castles close. That's the parking, and they have classical music playing here. I love it. How often do you have that at parking lots? And it's still another 10 minutes walk to the castle. So let's see if we'll make it to 3, because I'm really late. It took a long time to find here and to get the electric car started. There it is, the castle! I'm really excited to see what it looks like inside. I've seen a lot of beautiful pictures from it, from garden views. The biology here is very particular. Oh, that's beautiful. I really like the size of this castle. And when I say size, I mean proportions. It's both vast, but at the same time very accessible and not too tall and wide in a great perfection. I really like what I see. What is there not to love? Press down the lever to open the door. And this is the lever. Oh, this is a splendid glass entrance. The castle was much visited in the summer. It still has very well kept interior style by the English firm Liberty & Company, about 10 rooms, which is unusual in the world. At the entrance you're handed a leaflet with information that you will most likely get lost here, as there are no signposts. The photos in the leaflet will help you with the orientation. It is quite unusual to have islands like that, just in front of the castle. I really like this. The initiation of this castle was by James Frederick and Blanche Dixon, a family with roots in England and Scotland and with a very successful store in Gothenburg, for example. The Dickinsons purchased the property in 1892, began building it in 1898, and it was finally erected in 1904, so a quite recent castle. This lovely equipment is a hairdryer on kerosene. You put your neck comfortably against the rounded part and spread out your newly washed hair behind you. I always ask when I visit the castle, what happened to the owners? The family of the owners of Tjolöholm lives on and reside in other castles. Note that the water can come from above, the sides and from below in this shower, and a private jacuzzi or pool, whenever a bath is too large to be bathed, is a genius idea. There are bathrooms in different colours, and next to the green one there is a dark room to develop photographies in this castle. In the former kitchen there was a bell-ringing chart. When somebody was ringing the bell, a small sign fell down into a little window to show from which room the ringing came. There was a button in almost every room, either made of ivory or metal. This is my personal castle best. I visited this huge estate in just under 15 minutes. You know, like speed dating, but speed history. So Tjolöholm, the name, is actually from the 1200s, and locals say Tjolö. Where we are standing now, many years ago, this was the bottom of the sea, and when the water started coming, the islands that were here had this particular shape called Tjolö, and that's just natural. And Holm is another way to say island. The guided tour starts in 29 minutes. I will not make it on time, but let's see if I can knock the door. I have previewed them, I emailed them, I called them. For a moment it looked like I wouldn't even be able to enter the castle, because I wasn't able to lock my car in front of the particular signpost which said empty your car before the thief does. But now I'm actually on the way up hills. I am about 30 minutes late to the guided tour. I don't think anybody's waiting for me by the entrance, so let's see if I'm lucky to be able to enter the castle at all. We have another castle this day. I'm still optimistic about being able to get there before they close for the day, which is at 4. Now it is 1:30, so I'm learning a lot about cars and less about history. Next castle, that is Gunnebo slot. It is outside of Gothenburg, south of it, in a city called Mölndal. There are now 2 wedding couples on the site. Yeah, I think it's a lost cause. I have a genius idea. I could wait to the end of the guided tour, and then when they open the door and wave everybody by, I could ask if I can enter for like 2 minutes. One of the guides texted the guy that is inside the castle, so maybe I will be let in and just film, a minute or 2. That will make me very happy. Underneath this vault, that is the entrance to the castle. Attention, wedding. I got a generous 5 minutes. Let's make the most out of them. I'm now directly going to the 2nd floor. So technically I'm almost alone at the castle. This was a very nice turn of events. How pretty. This is so pretty. And you really feel history somehow, like you're present in the moment.
Gunnebo is actually not really a castle, though many call it that way, and that is what it's called on many maps. It was constructed at the end of the 18th century as a summer residence in neoclassical style for John Hall, or as pronounced in English, John Hall. The house was converted into a museum in the 1950s.
So there is a 3rd floor.
Gothenburg, where the family lived the rest of the year, was at the time a crowded and dirty city. The few who had the luxury to spend their time on the countryside to breathe fresh air did so. When John Hall chose to buy this land in the parish Fässberg, this exclusive villa became a frequent topic of conversation. John Hall's firm was one of the largest trading houses in the city, specializing in wood, bar iron and train oil. The oil was extracted from herring.
I think I have 1 minute left now.
There was an abundance of herring along the west coast and contributed greatly to the development and expansion of Gothenburg and its surroundings. John Hall was not particularly fond of socializing. Even the tiled stove in his bedroom was designed in such a way that it could be lit from elsewhere, the drawing room, so the servants would not have to disturb him in his bedroom.
Du lyckades hitta mig. Ja. Det är imponerande. Du tror att jag har sett alla rum, men då har jag verkligen så här gått igenom alla.
Ja, förstår du.
Någon kommentar? Har du 1 minut guided visning? They are being super nice, and I have arranged for a guided tour for me, which will last about 600 seconds. Let's have a moment. I am inside.
John Hall was married to Kristina Hall. Her bedroom was a public room where she received visitors. It is said that Kristina Hall invited guests to observe her when she rose and dressed in the morning. Turning mundane things into a theatrical performance, it was a demonstration of power which was spreading from the royal court in Paris. The trading house passed to John Hall the Younger when his father passed away. He unfortunately did not have the talents for business, and the company went bankrupt after 4.5 years. The Hall family had a porcelain made just for them, of which nothing remains today. The saying goes that when Kristina heard about the bankruptcy, she crushed all the porcelain on the ground surrounding Gunnebo, and pieces of it are still found in the ground today. When you come to visit, take a particular look in this very room to see the symmetries. There's, for example, a false carved door.
With 2 minutes margin, let's see if I will be getting hold of a ticket as well. I didn't buy one until last minute because I wasn't sure I would be able to make it, but I'm here.
Nääs castle actually qualifies as a mansion. It is mostly called or referred to as a castle. The interior is super modern and very well kept, the latest fashion in the 1800s, the entire house particularly renovated for the family August Abrahamsson, who was a merchant, and his wife, Efrusyn Lehmann. You see the portraits of the couple hanging on the wall here. And here is a portrait of Efrusyn herself. She was an established opera singer, and this was during her opera years. August was Jewish and born at a time when a particular Jewish regulation, Judereglementet in Sweden, stipulated where he was allowed to live and limited his possibilities to have a business. Once that was changed, he grew a successful store in Gothenburg. There he sold small products like buttons, threads, collars, gloves, and imported the latest fashion from France. August made a fortune and could retire from his business early. Note the particular heating under the sofa. The couple enjoyed each other's company and had famous guests like Selma Lagerlöf. This table decoration clearly shows that there were napkins that have the shape of arms and guns were reserved for men, and the host resides at both ends with particularly high napkins looking like candles. This is August's bed. Made of iron, it was about 1 ton. Above it, a bell to ring for servants. There are many particular details that I liked that might not draw attention right away. There is the slightly hidden windows, framed as if they are paintings. Or these lovely colorful windows from Switzerland. Or pots standing on the floor to spit in. The kitchen has a box to keep the food warm, which seems like the most natural thing, but back then that was not common. The Swedish word for this box is koklåda.
How lovely. It was tough, but I made it. 3 castles in 1 day. And now, having visited 3 castles in 1 day, I'm going to try to beat that record, and I think it's possible to visit 7. This might happen in France. Subscribe for follow-ups.